Hey, so to my wonderful Gemini ascendants. So we're going to be doing your Vedic astrology reading first, and then we're going to move on to clarification from the tarot pack. So essentially, this is for the week commencing 27th of October 2025, going over kind of Halloween as well as what it is that's going to happen during the week. So not just that specific day, obviously, but anyway. Gemini. Okay, Moon is moving into the sign of Sagittarius. Now, Moon is Maraka. Mar in Sanskrit and also Hindi means to cause pain, to kill, something like that. So, a Maraka is essentially related, well, Maraka kind of positioning or house is essentially related to ill disease, misfortune, death, um, being plagued, all of this kind of thing. And Jupiter's there too. So just be careful of your health. Be careful of your stomach, lower abdomen, UTIs, anything like that. Just be really, really careful. And also, particularly like food consumption, have a very, very sattvic diet. You don't want to have anything super crazy, heavy, spicy. Make sure everything's in date, nothing's expired or anything like that. Just make sure that the produce that you're getting is very much kind of pucker. At this time, I would refrain from eating out too much because there could be such, or having any kind of like exotic foods that you've never tried before, or if you don't know the kind of restaurant. So it's like a new yeah, we're gonna go to this new Vietnamese place. Oh wow, I'm on the toilet for fucking half an hour the next morning. So just be careful of that. Okay. Now, and that is actually because second house lord into the seventh house. This governs kind of like that food consumption, eating certain exotic things. Just be really really careful there. However, the good news is that there's going to be a huge income boost, especially if you're in a partnership or something like that. Um, you might have an ex come back as well next week, Gemini. So just be very very mindful of that. And I think that this is one of the rare kind of situations where I think if you do get your ex coming back, it's going to be far more emotionally regulated. It's going to be far more um, in alignment with what it is that you're looking for as a long term kind of piece. I think someone's actually gone away, done the work, and come back, which is a very, very rare. There's no ego here. There's no kind of impulsivity. Like this is very much a kind of a very calculated decision that they've made. And I think that if you are in a no contact situation, either communication be like coming in, or if you are in contact with someone that's essentially it's been a little bit rocky, this is all going to be a lot more kind of harmonious moving forward. Midweek, Mars is in its own sign. 11th house Lord is basically eighth from itself here, right? And then the 8th house Lord is sitting sixth from itself. Okay, now the only thing, okay, so this is actually good for financial positioning. Really, really good for financial positioning, and also really, really good for love. The only thing that I'd be really careful of is health related challenges. So you might be quite overwhelmed at this time. You might have like burnout. When I was doing Aries kind of reading as well, they were quite burnt out, and they did actually. I think it was the Four of Swords that we pulled out for them. So I get it. And it could be quite overwhelming. But like I said, with finances, it's all good. Debts are going to be cleared, enemies are going to be absolutely destroyed. You won't have any issues in that. Say, for example, if you've got a legal battle or if you've got anything like that, it's all in your favor. So I wouldn't worry about that. Also, if you're training for some sort of sport event or something like that, competitions, exams, anything like that, it's all in your favor. Like all of it is in your favor. So yeah, don't feel worried. Like, or even if you're like looking for like a new job, like interviews, something something's gonna come up, which is great. The only thing that I'd say is that in your current workplace, try not to be. This sounds quite weird because I don't usually say this, but try not to be too overly analytical. Be more emotional about it. Be more open to understanding different ways of working. Be more open to other people's way of approaching certain projects. Certain, say for example, I mean, I've done a little bit of project management in my time. So where you've got the waterfall methodology, and you've got the agile methodology, and Scrum and all that kind of thing. A lot of people say, no, I don't want to. Waterfall's so outdated and da da da. But if you're implementing specific systems, sometimes the methodology is far more kind of applicable. And then with Scrum and Agile methodology, sometimes that's far more applicable, and they're two completely different ways of thinking. However, for certain tasks, sometimes it's actually better to implement a different kind of way or approach to the specific projects and work that you're working on in the workplace. So yeah, definitely consider other people's way of thinking. Towards the end of the week, we've got Moon going into your 8th house. Fantastic for investments, inheritances, all that kind of thing. Great. But where it is great with your investments, and also particularly your inheritances, what you need to be careful of are fights and arguments with your spouse, or especially in-laws at this time. This can be very, very, very prominent. So just make sure that you, again, come from an emotional standpoint. You know, analytically, you want what's best for you from a material perspective. However, I think the way that you can actually win this particular battle, if you are going through it, is by being more emotional and letting things cool off. Because at the minute, it's all way, way too heated. So just be careful of that. And then also, like, Gemini, I'm not saying that you're jealous or anything like that, but if your spouse, if your husband or wife is doing really, really well, excelling in career, they've had some great success when it comes to speculative gains or anything like that, don't be jealous, because I think this is where the fight of inheritance and the fight of in-laws and all that kind of thing, like, this is where it's probably going to arise, because perhaps it's such that, oh wow, they're doing so much better than you, like than you or whatever. Not saying that that's particularly or specifically rather the case, but that can happen. If you are going for short distance travel, it's all right, but I think that there's going to be a lot of problems there as well. So short distance travel, you might get some delays, you might get some cancellations or anything like that. It's something that you might have to rebook as well. So just be mindful of that. Although you will get help from either like fathers or elders that will bail you out. So if you need to rebook a flight, your dad, granddad, grandmother, something like that would be like, oh no, look, don't worry about it. Look, here's the extra money. It's fine. Just get tomorrow's flight. It's cool. But I think realistically, it's going to be more on the masculine side of things, because the moon is giving Mahalakshmi Yoga. So yeah, I think like overall it's a great week. I wouldn't worry about things too much. I would say just be careful of your health more than anything, food consumption, and then also the workplace. Just become a lot more emotional, a lot more jovial, as opposed to analytical. So, oh, okay, nice. You've got the world. That's great. So it's all gonna happen in your favor exactly how you want it. I think like you're gonna take a much more pragmatic approach to things, and it seems like a paradox to take a pragmatic approach whilst also trying to implement an emotional one. But I think it's really going to work in your favour, and I think you're going to be a lot more compassionate. I think you're going to have a lot more kind of drive as well, and that's going to come across to all of the stakeholders that you're dealing with, whether it be personal or professional or whatever. So anyway, my wonderful Gemini, the best of luck for next week, and I will catch you in the next reading. Hare Krishna.